Good morning, YouTube. Had this package show up in the mail the other day. It says LCD AC power meter, 20 amps. Let's see if we can get into this here and see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. So that's actually part of the part number. This is another one of these PeaceFair PZEM-021 AC panel meters. That should be what this is. That is this device, AC digital multifunction meter. Yeah, there you go, PZEM-021. So this one is rated up to 240 volts and 20 amps. Yeah, there we go, 0 to 20 amps. But anyway, this one is a little bit different. It's got the, let's see here, here's the middle two terminals are your voltage, so that's your AC power in, 80 to 260 volts. And then this device has a shunt resistor built in, so you run the 20 amps through this device. Now that's different than the one I had before. This is the PZEM-061 unit, which has the external current transformer, and you can run up to 100 amps through the current transformer. And if we look at the backs here, so you can see there's slightly different wiring. So this one, you have the voltage on the bottom two pins. This is the 061, and then the current transformer is the little black and red wire here on the top, and you actually run your load current through the current transformer. With the 021 model, you actually run the current through this meter. And the reason I bought this was I want to replace the meter I have on my variable AC power supply, which is one of these right now, with one of these, because number one, I don't need 100 amps on that power supply. It's only good to 7 amps is its maximum rating. I have two of these meters. I think this one reads about 400 milliwatts at no load. The other one reads about 600 milliwatts, and they both read about 40 milliamps at no load, with no current flowing through here. And I've tried moving this current transformer to various parts of the power supply, and it just seems to be something inherent with the calibration of these. Now, if I were running a 100 amp load through here, 40 milliamps doesn't mean anything, but when you're trying to measure like a 1 watt LED bulb, having to remember to subtract 600 milliwatts from whatever reading you get just gets a little bit tedious. So Jim Connor on his power supply had one of these meters, and he was getting 0 amps reading when there was no load. So I was kind of thinking that might be kind of handy to have. And then he also modified the meter to operate off of a fixed power supply. These two center terminals here do two things. One is they let the meter read the voltage that's across the load, but the second thing they do is this provides power to operate the meter, the display and all the electronics inside. You basically are going to run an extra wire out of this meter, leave the two wires here that are your variable voltage, run a fifth wire out of the end here that I'll run into the power supply, and that will go to a fixed 120 volt source to power the meter. Then the variable source will go to this sensing input, and by doing that, instead of having the meter turn off when you get down to about 60 to 80 volts, it will read clear down to 0 volts. And then I've got some ideas for this meter and the other one that I'll be taking off of the power supply. So what I want to do with these, one is I want to wire one of these up to my AC power inverter Right now I have it plugged into a P3 kilowatt meter, but I have to leave that meter there all the time. It would be nice to have a separate meter, just part of the power inverter, so I could take that kilowatt meter and do something else with it, because it's portable and this is meant to be permanently installed. And one of the things I want to do with the other meter is I want to make a 230 or 240 volt kilowatt meter out of one of these. This 230 volt, 240 volt split phase kilowatt meter is at a viewer request. Had quite a few viewers ask, how do you set one of these up? At least in the US, where we have the split phase, you have 120 volts, neutral, and then a second leg or a split leg with the 120 volts. So you have 120, 120, and then you have your 240 volts between the two lines. And you pretty much wire it up the same way, so I'll show you how to do that. So this is the PZEM-021 AC panel meter, 20 amps with an internal shunt. And then this is the PZEM-061, 100 amps with external current transformer. And there is now available a split transformer version of this. Instead of having to run the wire through the transformer, they have a model where the transformer is split and hinged in the middle, so you can open up the transformer and put it around a wire and then click it back shut. So stay tuned. I'll post any updates in the upper right corner and also in the video description down below. And if you have any questions about those or suggestions for things to cover in those videos, feel free to post up in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching. See ya.